Here's where the Windrush generation get interesting. See, the Windrush generation had arrived in Britain and experienced, shall we say, hard-fought racism. But they still managed to make an impact on Britain. The NHS was essentially brought up on immigrant nurses and doctors, and construction jobs were filled out by Windrush migrants. But violence and impact are the same thing. Violence broke out over London and a number of cities across the UK. We've got Liverpool, Manchester, Birmingham, Nottingham, and the thing is that the whole point was caused by increasing amounts of immigration to Britain. That passport had allowed anyone to move to Britain for a better life. And in the 1940s, there's only like 400 or 700 total immigrants from the Caribbean. In the 50s, it was about 2,000 a year. But in the 1960s, there were 40,000 Commonwealth immigrants coming to Britain. Every year, 40,000 more. In modern day terms, that's not many, but that's still a massive influx, a massive increase in the amount of people coming to Britain, and the British government actually tried to stop it. The British government introduced in 1962 an Immigration Act. Basically, all it said was, if you're coming to Britain, you need to tell us that you have a job lined up, a skilled job that you can do that with your particular skill, be it being a doctor or a builder or something. It was supposed to stop immigration, but in fact, it didn't really stop immigration. People just found those jobs and came. And as well as that, it had this Immigration Act had no limits on Irish immigrants or immigrants who were white. And it got even worse than that. In 1968, the government noticed there were a number of Kenyan Asian migrants coming to Britain. That's a particular name you need to remember. Kenyan Asian migrants were coming to Britain, and there was quite a lot of them. So the British government in 1968 issued a new act. It was called the Commonwealth Immigration Act. And all it said was, if you have a Kenyan Asian passport, or if you are Asian, have a Kenyan passport, you will not be allowed in Britain. Blanket ban. The thing is, if you were white, they would let you come from Kenya. These policies divided the nation. Some people in radical support for the Windrush generation, a few other immigrants, and some completely vehemently against them. The Windrush generation did change how Britain operated and looked. It changed, should we say, the cultures that were present in the country. The Notting Hill Carnival is a great example of a way the country's, should we say, culture was changed. Every year there is a carnival celebrating Caribbean culture in London, in Nottingham, the particular area of it. Notting Hill, pardon. But what you need to really be sure of is these. What's the impact of the Windrush migrants in Britain? What's the experience of Windrush migrants in Britain? What was the colour bar? How did this cause violence in Britain? And how did the British government try to reduce migration from the Commonwealth in the 1960s? You'll find most of those answers in the textbook. Please keep reading and finding out more. If you can answer this with specific facts each time, you're sorted. Good luck.